All right, so you're thinking about going for that barista interview.
Well, we're here to help you prep.
Yeah, we're diving deep into RoleCatcher's guides.
That's right.
The career guide, the interview guide, A and D, their question repository,
We've got it all.
to help you brew up that winning strategy.
Exactly.
Think of this whole deep dive as like your espresso shot of knowledge.
Yeah.
It's strong,
You
it's
need it.
focused, and it's going to get you going.
You'll need it.
Oh, yeah.
The coffee scene, it's super competitive these days.
Oh, for sure.
And there's a lot more to it than just knowing your beans.
I bet.
Yeah. We're going to uncover some surprising details about the barista role itself.
Okay, let's unpack this whole thing. What does a barista actually do?
Right.
I was looking at that career guide, and it paints a picture that's way more dynamic than I expected.
It's a blend of customer service equipment expertise
For sure.
and even a dash of artistry, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're not just making drinks, you're creating an experience.
That's right.
Okay, let's jump right into some of those common interview questions.
Okay.
Starting with, can you tell us about your experience making coffee?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
This one might seem pretty basic.
Yeah, especially for those entry-level roles.
Right.
But I feel like you shouldn't underestimate this question.
Definitely not. It's your chance to really showcase your passion,
I agree.
not just list the places you've worked.
Okay, so how do you go beyond just listing things off your resume?
Think about what sparked your interest in coffee.
Okay.
Maybe you have a favorite brewing method,
Yeah.
or you like to experiment with different beans at home.
Mm-hmm.
Let that enthusiasm come
It's
through.
important.
Interviewers, they really want to see that spark.
I feel like that's where RoleCatcher's AI could be such a huge help.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like having a barista coach right in your pocket,
Right.
wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Their AI can analyze all your responses
Mm.
and tailor them to specific job roles.
Oh, wow.
It really is like having a secret weapon.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say I've talked about my passion for coffee.
Okay.
What kind of follow-up questions should I expect?
Ooh.
Give me the curveballs.
Okay, be ready to get specific.
Okay.
They might ask about your experience with different espresso machines,
Okay.
grinders,
Yeah.
or even milk frothing techniques.
Really?
Yeah, they want to gauge the depth of your knowledge.
So it's not just about saying, I can make a latte.
Right.
It's about showing them you understand the nuances.
Exactly.
Okay.
Think about things like how you adjust the grind size for different beans.
Mm-hmm.
What's your technique for latte art?
Yeah.
Detail is key.
Okay. Let's move on to a question that feels a little bit more mid-level.
Okay.
How do you ensure consistency in the quality of coffee you make?
Oh, good one.
This feels like it separates the baristas from the true coffee aficionados.
Right.
You know?
And the interview guide really dives deep into this one. It
Yeah.
emphasizes techniques that go beyond just following the recipe.
I feel like I would mention things like measuring beans in water
Yes.
precisely,
Yeah.
timing the extraction,
Mm-hmm.
making sure the water temperature is right.
Yeah, those are great starting points.
But is there anything else?
But think about the guide's emphasis on tamping pressure.
Tamping pressure.
Yes. It's a subtle detail, but it can massively impact the espresso's flavor
Oh, wow.
and consistency.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I could talk about how I use a calibrated tamper
Yes.
and aim for consistent pressure
Yeah,
to ensure even extraction.
exactly. And don't forget about equipment maintenance.
Yeah,
A clean and well-calibrated machine is crucial for that consistent quality.
of course.
You can even mention your process for checking the espresso's crema
Yeah.
to make sure it's just right.
It's amazing how all these seemingly simple questions can reveal so much about being a great barista.
Right.
Like you said, it's
Yeah.
about having a meticulous approach and a genuine passion for coffee.
Absolutely. And that passion is going to be crucial when answering another common question.
Okay.
Can you tell us about a time you had to handle a difficult customer?
Oh, boy.
That's a classic behavioral question. You know,
Yeah.
designed to see how you handle pressure and resolve conflict.
Everyone messes up an order sometimes.
right.
It's all about how you recover.
It is.
What does the interview guide suggest for answering this one?
Well, it emphasizes the STAR method.
Okay, the starter method.
Situation, task, action, result.
Got it.
So think of a specific instance where you had to deal with a frustrated customer
Okay.
and then walk the interviewer through the situation.
Yeah.
What steps did you take to de-escalate
Hmm.
and ensure the customer left happy?
Would it be helpful to mention any customer service training that I've had?
Definitely.
Yeah.
It shows you're proactive and committed to that positive customer experience.
Yeah.
The career guide actually highlights the increasing importance of those customer service skills.
That's really good to know.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question that feels like a curveball.
Okay.
Can you explain the difference between a latte and a cappuccino?
Oh, interesting.
Seems basic.
It does, but interviewers often use these seemingly simple questions
Yeah.
to see if you can go beyond just that surface level.
Right.
They're looking for genuine coffee knowledge.
Okay.
Think back to the career guide section on beverage basics.
So I shouldn't just say a latte has more milk.
Probably not.
Okay.
This is your chance to showcase your understanding of milk ratios,
Okay.
foam textures, and even presentation.
Wow.
For instance, the guide explains the difference between microfoam in a latte
Right.
versus the airy foam of a cappuccino.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So I could say something like, a latte has a higher milk to espresso ratio
Yes.
and a thin layer of microfoam making it smoother.
Uh-huh.
A cappuccino has equal parts espresso steamed milk and a thick layer of airy foam resulting in a more concentrated coffee flavor.
That's perfect. You're demonstrating a deeper understanding of the drinks
Okay.
and showcasing your knowledge of that coffee terminology.
It's all about those details.
It really is. Now, here's another one that focuses on continuous learning.
Okay.
How do you stay up to date on coffee trends and techniques?
Okay. I would probably mention reading industry magazines.
Yeah.
Like Barista magazine or
Yeah.
Standard,
Good ones.
and following reputable coffee roasters and baristas on social media.
Mm-hmm.
But would that be enough?
It's a good start, but the career guide suggests going beyond just passively consuming information.
Okay.
Think about attending workshops,
Okay.
experimenting with new brewing methods,
Yeah.
or even visiting different coffee shops to see what they're doing.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's about showing you're actively engaged in that coffee community. and
Exactly.
Not just content with the status quo.
Right.
Okay, now let's switch gears a little bit and talk about multitasking.
Okay.
Something that any barista knows is absolutely essential.
Oh, yeah. You got to be able to multitask.
RoleCatcher's database had this question.
Okay.
Can you tell us about a time when you had to multitask while working as a barista?
Love that one.
A busy coffee shop is like multitasking central.
It is.
How do I showcase my multitasking superpowers
Right.
without just saying I'm good at it?
Well, again, the STAR method from the interview guide can be applied here.
Oh.
Choose a specific anecdote that highlights those skills.
Okay.
Maybe describe a time when you had a rush of customers during that morning peak.
Yeah.
How did you prioritize those orders, communicate with your team, and stay on top of everything?
I think I would talk about anticipating bottlenecks.
Okay.
Like if I see a line starting to form, I'm already prepping those extra espresso shots.
Yes.
Or milk, just to keep things flowing.
That's excellent. It shows you're thinking ahead
Yeah.
and proactively addressing any potential challenges.
And amidst all the chaos, maintaining a friendly and professional demeanor with every customer
Absolutely.
is so important.
Now, let's talk about another question that pops up, especially for those more experienced baristas.
Okay.
Can you tell us about a time when you had to train a new barista? This one assesses leadership potential
Okay.
and communication skills.
So it's about passing on the torch,
Mm-hmm.
instilling a passion for coffee.
It is.
How should I structure my answer to really showcase those skills?
Think about the interview guides section on mentorship and training.
Okay.
It highlights the importance of clear communication,
Mhm.
a structured approach,
Yeah.
and ongoing feedback.
Oh,
Start by explaining what you had to teach the new barista,
right.
maybe a specific brewing method
Okay.
or a latte art technique.
Yeah.
Then walk the interviewer through your process.
Okay.
Did you use a hands-on approach?
Uh-huh.
Did you provide written materials,
Mhm.
offer demonstrations?
Yeah.
How did you assess their progress
Got it.
and provide feedback?
I would also really emphasize patience and encouragement.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It's about creating a supportive environment
Absolutely.
where they feel comfortable asking questions and learning.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to come across as someone who can effectively train and mentor others.
Okay.
Now let's dive into a question that often pops up in interviews, especially for those aiming for more senior barista positions.
Okay. What's that?
How do you handle inventory management and ordering supplies?
Oh, okay.
This one's less about coffee artistry
Right.
and more about those organizational skills.
So this is where my inner spreadsheet nerd comes out.
Exactly.
Right.
This question assesses your understanding of inventory control,
Mm-hmm.
your ability to forecast demand, and your attention to detail.
Okay.
The career guide actually dedicates a whole section to the evolving role of the barista
Mm-hmm.
and how responsibilities like inventory management are becoming increasingly common.
Wow.
So how should I approach this question?
Yeah.
Should I talk about specific software programs
Yeah.
or inventory management techniques?
Okay.
You can definitely mention specific systems,
Okay.
but focus on demonstrating your understanding of the principles behind inventory management. Talk about monitoring those stock levels, identifying reorder points, and minimizing waste. Mention any strategies you've used to streamline ordering, negotiate with suppliers,
Okay.
or ensure those timely deliveries.
I think I would also highlight accuracy and attention to detail,
Right.
because mistakes in inventory can really impact a coffee shop's profitability.
Excellent point. You want to emphasize that meticulous approach and your ability to maintain those accurate records.
Yeah.
You could even mention initiatives to reduce waste,
Okay.
optimize storage space,
Right.
or improve inventory management efficiency.
It's interesting how this question reveals the multifaceted nature of a barista's role.
Right.
It's not just about making great coffee. It's about contributing to a coffee shop's success as a business.
Absolutely. And remember, even if you haven't directly managed inventory professionally, you can draw on examples from other areas of your life where you've
great.
organized events, managed budgets, or
Yeah.
kept track of supplies for a hobby. Showcase those organizational skills, your attention to detail, and
Yeah.
your ability to manage resources effectively.
I think we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
We have.
We've tackled some of the most common barista interview questions,
Yes.
focusing on how the RoleCatcher guides can help you craft those winning responses.
That's right.
But there's more to come.
There is. We've only just scratched the surface.
I'm ready.
In our next segment, we're going to delve into some even more challenging questions
Okay.
and explore how to leverage RoleCatcher's AI.
To truly personalize your approach,
Exactly.
grab another cup of coffee, and we'll be back to continue brewing up your interview success.
Sounds good. Welcome back to our deep dive into barista interviews. We covered some of those essential questions, but now let's explore some that require a little bit more finesse.
Okay.
And remember, we're still weaving in those insights from RoleCatcher to give you that edge.
I'm all ears. Hit me with those challenging questions.
All right, how about this one? How do you create a welcoming and inviting atmosphere in the coffee shop?
Ooh, okay.
This one might seem geared towards managers,
I was going to say.
but it's something that every barista should consider.
Yeah.
The career guide emphasizes that each barista contributes to that overall customer experience.
It makes sense. It's
Yeah.
not just about the coffee. It's about the whole vibe, you know?
Exactly. Interviewers want to know if you understand the importance of that ambiance, customer interaction, and that sense of community that all those great coffee shops have.
Yeah. So beyond just like making a good latte,
Right.
what are some tangible things I can talk about?
Think about those small gestures that make people feel seen and welcome.
Okay.
A genuine smile, eye contact, a friendly greeting.
Yeah.
The interview guide even mentions remembering regular customers' orders.
Oh, I like that.
You know, that personal touch goes a long way.
Shows you're paying attention and that you care.
Yeah.
I would also mention like keeping the shop clean and organized. Maybe playing some upbeat music and just being open to a friendly chat while I'm making their drink.
All excellent points. And don't underestimate the power of being knowledgeable about the menu.
True.
Being able to offer recommendations or answer questions about different beans and brewing methods,
Right.
that adds to that welcoming expert vibe.
Yeah. It's about making people feel like they belong, like they're part of something special.
Precisely. And that's what sets a great coffee shop apart.
I agree.
Now let's tackle a classic interview question.
Okay.
Can you tell us about your greatest strength as a barista?
Ooh, that one's always tough.
This one can be tricky.
Yeah.
You want to highlight your skills without sounding arrogant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I always struggle with that balance. I don't want to brag, but I also want to showcase what I bring to the table.
Yeah,
You know?
right. The key is to be authentic and specific.
Okay.
Think about what truly sets you apart.
Yeah.
Is it your latte art skills?
Mm-hmm.
Your speed and efficiency?
Yeah.
Your ability to connect with those customers? Right.
Choose a strength that aligns with the values highlighted in the career guide,
Okay.
like customer service or that commitment to quality.
For me, I think my biggest strength is my ability to connect with people.
Okay.
I genuinely enjoy chatting with customers and learning about their preferences.
That's a fantastic strength to highlight.
Really?
It shows you're not just focused on those technical aspects, but you understand the importance of creating that positive customer experience.
To back that up, I could even mention specific instances where I went above and beyond for a customer.
Yes.
Maybe remembering their usual order or offering a recommendation based on their preferences.
Perfect. You're showing, not just telling.
That's good.
Now brace yourself for this one.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about a time when you made a mistake while working as a barista?
Oh, boy.
How did you handle it?
Here we go.
Right?
We've all been there.
We have
Okay.
spilled a latte, mixed up an order.
Yep.
It's a high-pressure environment. Mistakes happen.
Oh, for sure.
But interviewers want to see resilience, accountability,
Mm-hmm.
and a willingness to learn.
Okay.
Remember the STAR method we talked about?
Oh, right. Yes.
Let's apply it here.
Okay, so I need to think of a specific situation.
Yes.
Describe the task at hand.
Mm-hmm.
Explain the actions I took to fix the mistake and highlight the positive result.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to be honest.
Yeah.
Everyone makes mistakes.
It happens.
What matters is how you handle them.
Right.
The interview guide actually provides a great example of a barista who accidentally used the wrong type of milk
Oh, no.
and how they rectified that situation,
Oh, that's good.
emphasizing the importance of taking ownership
Yeah.
and finding a solution.
So I could say something like, I once accidentally used oat milk instead of soy milk for a customer's latte. I immediately apologized, explained the mistake, and offered to remake the drink with the correct milk. The customer was understanding, and I learned to double-check orders before starting to make the drinks.
That's a great example.
Yeah.
You've shown ownership, a solution-oriented approach,
Yeah.
and that you learned from that experience. Good.
Now, this next question might seem like a trick.
Okay.
What is your least favorite part of being a barista?
Ooh.
But it's a chance to showcase self-awareness
Okay.
and handle a potentially negative question positively.
I don't want to sound like I'm complaining.
Right.
But every job has its downsides.
Absolutely. The key is to be honest, but frame your answer to highlight your strengths.
Okay.
Think about aspects you find less enjoyable, but connect them to skills you're developing.
For instance, I can say dealing with impatient customers can be challenging, but I'm working on improving my communication and conflict resolution skills to handle those situations better.
Perfect. You've acknowledged a challenge, but emphasize that proactive approach to improvement.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another thing I sometimes find repetitive is like making the same drinks over and over again. But then I remind myself that it's an opportunity to perfect my technique and ensure consistency, which is something that the career guide stresses as like a key skill.
Exactly. You've turned a potential negative into a positive.
I like that.
You could even inject some humor.
Okay.
My least favorite part is cleaning the espresso machine, but a sparkling, clean workspace is essential for making great coffee, right?
I love that. It shows you don't take yourself too seriously.
Right.
And you can find the positive
Yeah.
even in the less glamorous tasks.
That's right.
Now, before we move on, I want to touch on RoleCatcher's AI platform again.
Okay.
It seems like an invaluable tool, especially their CV and cover letter builder.
It's a game changer.
Really?
Their AI analyzes job descriptions and suggests relevant keywords and phrases to make your application stand out.
That's so helpful.
The career guide emphasizes the importance of tailoring your CV to each specific role, and RoleCatcher's AI helps you do just that.
So it's not just about randomly throwing in buzzwords.
Right.
It's about understanding what the employer is looking for
It
and
is.
highlighting the skills and experience that align with their needs.
That's right. Their AI also helps you structure your CV and cover letter effectively,
Okay.
ensuring they're clear, concise, and tailored to that specific job.
What about their interview practice feature?
Oh, it's amazing.
Really?
You can record yourself answering common interview questions,
Oh, wow.
and their AI analyzes your responses,
Okay.
providing feedback on content delivery and even body language.
It's like having a mock interview with an expert, but from the comfort of your own home.
It is. It's a fantastic resource.
Yeah.
And it really complements the insights that you gain from the career guide and interview guide.
Right.
Speaking of which, let's move on to another question that often comes up.
Okay.
Can you tell us about a time when you had to go above and beyond for a customer?
Okay, this is where I get to show off my customer service superpowers.
Absolutely.
Okay.
This is your chance to demonstrate your commitment to creating that positive customer experience.
Yeah.
The career guide highlights the growing importance of customer service in the coffee industry. So this question is a prime opportunity to shine.
Okay, I'm trying to think of a specific example. What if I talk about a time when a customer was having a rough day and I offered them like a complimentary pastry to cheer them up? It wasn't like a huge gesture, but it made a difference.
That's a perfect example. It shows you're empathetic,
Okay.
attentive,
Yeah.
and willing to go that extra mile to make a customer's day.
And it ties back to what we were talking about earlier, creating that welcoming and inviting atmosphere.
Right.
With those little acts of kindness that make people want to come back.
Exactly. Now let's tackle another behavioral question that often pops up.
Okay.
Can you describe a time when you had to work as part of a team to achieve a goal?
Okay, this one's interesting. I'm guessing they want to see how I collaborate and contribute to a team environment.
You're spot on. The career guide emphasizes that teamwork is essential.
Yeah.
In a busy coffee shop environment.
Yeah.
You're constantly interacting with other baristas, cashiers, managers. So being able to work effectively as part of a team is crucial.
I'm trying to think of a good example. What if I talk about a time when we were slammed during a festival and we all had to work together to keep up with the orders and maintain a positive customer experience?
That's a fantastic example.
Okay.
Describe the specific roles everyone played, how you communicated effectively,
Yeah.
and how you all contributed to achieving that goal of serving customers efficiently
Okay.
and keeping things running smoothly.
I could talk about how we had a system
Okay.
where one person focused on taking orders, another on making drinks,
Yeah.
another on managing the line and interacting with customers. We were constantly communicating and supporting each other,
Great.
which helped us stay organized and efficient, even under pressure.
Excellent. You've painted a clear picture of a successful team effort
Good.
and highlighted your role within that team.
Okay.
You've also demonstrated adaptability and your ability to perform under pressure, both of which are valuable qualities in a barista.
It's funny how these seemingly simple questions can reveal so much about a candidate's skills and personality.
It really is. And that's why it's so important to be prepared.
Yeah.
Think critically about your experiences and tailor your answers to showcase those qualities that align with the barista role and the values of that coffee shop.
And remember, RoleCatcher's resources can be a huge help in that preparation process.
Absolutely.
Their AI can help you refine your answers. Their guides provide valuable insights into the industry.
Yes.
And their practice features can help you build confidence.
Exactly. Now let's move on to another question that focuses on your ability to learn and adapt.
Okay.
Can you describe a time when you had to learn a new skill or technique quickly?
Ooh.
This one's particularly relevant for the ever-evolving world of coffee, where new trends and techniques are constantly emerging.
I love learning new things. So this one's right up my alley.
Good.
I'm thinking about the time I taught myself how to do latte art by watching videos and practicing at home. It took a lot of patience and dedication, but I eventually mastered it.
That's a fantastic example.
Really?
It shows you're a self-starter, you're passionate about coffee, and you're willing to put in the effort to develop new skills.
I'm always learning.
The career guide actually emphasizes the importance of continuous learning in the coffee industry. So showcasing your ability to learn new techniques quickly is a major plus.
Okay. I could also mention how I'm always researching new brewing methods and experimenting with different coffee beans.
Good.
I'm a firm believer that there's always something new to learn in the world of coffee.
Excellent. You're demonstrating a genuine passion for the craft and a commitment to staying ahead of the curve.
Okay.
And that enthusiasm is something that interviewers will definitely notice.
It's funny how some of the questions that seem the most daunting can actually be the most fun to answer.
Right.
I'm starting to get excited about the interview process.
That's the spirit. Remember, confidence is key, and with the right preparation.
And the help of resources like RoleCatcher, you'll be ready to ace your next barista interview.
I'm feeling good.
Now let's switch gears and talk about something that often makes people nervous.
Okay, what's that?
How do you handle stress and pressure in a fast-paced environment?
Ooh, okay, yeah.
This is something any barista needs to be able to manage,
Oh, yeah.
especially during those peak hours.
I can only imagine.
You're right. And the interview guide offers some great tips for answering this question effectively.
Okay.
It's not about saying you never get stressed. It's about showing how you manage those stressful situations.
So instead of saying, I thrive under pressure,
Right.
I should give a concrete example of how I've successfully handled a stressful situation in the past.
Exactly. Think of a time when you were faced with a challenge.
Okay.
Maybe a long line of customers,
Yeah.
a complicated order, or a sudden rush.
Okay.
Describe the situation, the steps you took to stay calm and focused,
Yeah.
and the positive outcome. I could talk about a time when the espresso machine broke down during a busy morning rush.
Oh, no.
It was chaos.
No.
But I stayed calm, communicated clearly with my team, and we quickly came up with a solution to keep serving customers while we waited for the machine to be fixed.
That's a great example. You've shown adaptability,
Okay.
problem-solving skills, and the ability to stay calm under pressure.
Yeah.
These are all highly valuable traits in a barista,
For sure.
especially in a fast-paced environment.
I could also mention techniques I use to manage stress,
Yes.
like taking deep breaths, prioritizing tasks, and focusing on one thing at a time.
That's a great addition. It shows you're self-aware
Yep.
and proactive in managing your own stress levels,
Okay.
which is essential for maintaining a positive and productive work environment.
I'm starting to realize that these behavioral questions are all about storytelling.
Uh-huh.
It's not just about listing your skills.
Right.
It's about bringing those skills to life through compelling narratives that showcase your experience and personality.
You're absolutely right. And that's what makes the interview process so interesting.
Yeah.
It's not just a test of your knowledge.
Right.
It's a chance to connect with the interviewer and share your passion for coffee and your enthusiasm for the role.
And that's where RoleCatcher's AI can be so helpful.
Absolutely.
It can analyze your practice answers and help you fine-tune your stories to make them even more engaging and impactful.
Their AI can also help you identify any areas where you might need to elaborate or provide more specific examples.
It's like having a personal storytelling coach in your pocket.
It is.
I love it.
Now let's tackle another question that often comes up in barista interviews,
Okay.
especially for those with some experience under their belts.
Okay.
Can you tell me about a time you had to deal with a difficult coworker?
Uh-oh.
How did you handle the situation?
Ooh, this one's a bit trickier.
It's not always easy to talk about conflict in the workplace, especially in an interview setting.
Yeah.
You're right, it can be a delicate subject. But remember, interviewers aren't necessarily looking for a perfect, conflict-free work history.
Oh.
They want to see how you handle challenging interpersonal situations
Yeah.
and whether you can maintain professionalism and a positive attitude even when faced with difficult people.
So it's not about bad-mouthing a former colleague.
Right.
It's about showcasing my conflict resolution skills.
Yes.
And my ability to navigate those tricky interpersonal dynamics.
Exactly. Think about a situation where you had to work with someone who was difficult.
Okay.
Maybe they were uncooperative, negative, or had a different work style than you.
Right.
Describe the situation, the specific challenges you faced, and the steps you took to address the issue and maintain a positive working relationship.
I'm trying to think of a good example. What if I talk about a time when I was working with a coworker who was constantly complaining
Okay.
and bringing down the team's morale? It was tough. But I tried to stay positive focus on the task at hand and encourage a more collaborative and supportive atmosphere.
That's a great example.
Okay.
You've shown resilience, a positive attitude, and a willingness to address a challenging situation constructively.
Yeah.
You could even mention specific techniques you use, like active listening, clear communication, or finding common ground.
I could also talk about how I tried to understand my coworkers' perspective.
Excellent.
And see if there was anything I could do to help them feel more supported or engaged in their work.
That shows empathy.
Yeah.
And a willingness to go beyond just addressing that surface level issue and delve deeper into those underlying dynamics.
I'm realizing that a lot of these behavioral questions are interconnected.
They are.
They're all about showcasing your interpersonal skills, your ability to work effectively with others, and your overall professionalism.
You're absolutely right. And that's why it's so important to think holistically about your experiences and how they demonstrate the qualities that make you a strong candidate for that barista role.
And remember, RoleCatcher's AI can be a valuable tool in this process.
Absolutely.
It can analyze your practice answers and help you identify any areas where you might need to provide more detail, strengthen your narratives, or highlight specific skills.
Their AI can also help you tailor your answers to specific job roles and company cultures, ensuring that your responses align with the values and expectations of the employer.
It's like having a personal interview coach in your pocket.
It is.
Now let's tackle another question that often comes up in barista interviews.
Okay.
What are your salary expectations?
Ooh, good one.
This one can be a bit nerve-wracking.
You're not alone.
Yeah.
Salary negotiations can be tricky, but the career guide provides some helpful tips.
Okay, good.
First and foremost, do your research. Know the average salary range for baristas in your area taking into account your experience level
Right.
and the specific requirements of that role.
I've also heard it's a good idea to have a range in mind
Yes.
rather than a specific number.
That's an excellent strategy.
Okay.
And remember, it's not just about the base salary.
Right.
Consider that overall compensation package,
Yeah.
which might include tips, benefits, and opportunities for professional development.
Speaking of professional development,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to express my interest in growth opportunities during the interview.
Absolutely.
It shows I'm ambitious and looking for a long-term career path,
It does.
not just a temporary job.
The career guide highlights the various career paths available within the coffee industry.
Yeah.
So showcasing your desire to learn and grow is a great way to demonstrate your commitment to the field.
I could mention my interest in learning more advanced brewing techniques,
Yes.
pursuing certifications, or even eventually taking on a leadership role within the coffee shop.
Those are all fantastic examples. It shows you're thinking long-term and that you're passionate about developing your skills and knowledge within the coffee industry.
I'm starting to feel much more confident about the interview process.
Good.
It's really about showcasing your passion, your skills, and your personality, and using resources like RoleCatcher to help you prepare effectively.
You've got it. Remember, confidence is key.
Yeah.
And with the right preparation, you'll be ready to impress those interviewers and land your dream barista job.
I hope so.
Now, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
let's talk about one last question that often comes up in interviews.
Okay. What's that?
Do you have any questions for us?
Ooh, okay.
This is your chance to turn the tables
Right.
and ask the interviewer some insightful questions.
So it's my opportunity to gather more information about the role,
Yes.
the company culture, and the overall work environment.
That's right. But avoid asking those generic questions that you could easily find the answers to online.
Right.
Instead, ask questions that show you've been paying attention during the interview
Yeah.
and that you're genuinely curious about that specific role or the company.
So instead of asking what are the company's benefits,
Right.
I could ask something like, what opportunities are there for professional development within the barista team?
That's a fantastic example. It shows you're thinking long-term
Okay.
and that you're interested in growing your skills and knowledge within the company.
I could also ask about the coffee shop's commitment to sustainability,
Yes.
their sourcing practices,
Right.
or their approach to customer service.
Those are all excellent questions
Right.
that demonstrate your interest in the company's values and their overall mission.
It's about gathering information, but also about leaving a lasting impression.
Exactly. Now let's take a quick break, grab another cup of coffee,
Yeah.
and come back for that final part of our deep dive, where we'll cover some advanced strategies for making your barista interview truly stand out.
Okay, we're back for the final part of our barista interview deep dive.
That's right.
We've covered a lot of ground, those common questions, behavioral scenarios, salary talk. But now let's talk about the final flourishes, those things that make you truly memorable.
It's often those subtle details, you know,
Right.
that elevate a good interview to a great one.
I agree.
We're talking about going beyond simply answering those questions
Yeah.
and showcasing those intangible qualities that make you stand out.
So what are we talking about specifically? How do you go from just answering competently to really wowing those interviewers?
Well, enthusiasm is key.
Okay.
Yes, you need to demonstrate your knowledge and your experience.
Of course.
But you also need to convey a genuine excitement about coffee
Yeah.
and that opportunity to work as a barista.
I've always believed that enthusiasm is contagious.
It is.
You know, if you can convey your passion, it'll make you more memorable.
Exactly. Think back to the career guides section on personal branding.
Good.
It emphasizes the importance of presenting yourself as a passionate and knowledgeable coffee professional.
Yeah.
Let that passion shine through in your smile, your eye contact, and even your answers. Talk about your favorite brewing methods.
Yeah.
Share an interesting fact about a specific coffee bean.
Mm-hmm.
Or even describe your experiences experimenting with latte art at home.
It's about letting your personality shine through.
Exactly.
Showing them you're not just a coffee-making robot.
Right. And another way to stand out is by asking thoughtful questions at the end of the interview.
Okay.
This demonstrates your initiative and your genuine interest in the role and the company.
But what kind of questions should I ask?
Right.
I don't want to ask something that's like generic or obvious.
The key is to ask questions that are specific to the information you've gathered during the interview.
Okay.
For example, if they mention a new coffee blend they're excited about, you could ask about its flavor profile and sourcing.
Oh, that's good.
Or if they talk about their training program, you could ask about opportunities for advancement within the company.
Those are great examples. It shows you've been paying attention.
Yes.
And that you're genuinely curious.
Exactly. And remember, this is your chance to get a feel for the company culture.
Right.
And whether it's a good fit for you.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to ask about things that are important to you.
Okay.
Whether it's their sustainability practices, their approach to customer service, or even their team building activities.
It's about gathering information, but also about leaving a lasting impression.
Absolutely. Now let's touch on something that often makes people nervous.
Okay.
Salary expectations.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
The Career Guide offers some helpful advice on navigating this tricky topic.
I know it's important to be prepared.
Yeah.
To research the typical salary range for barista roles in my area and to be realistic about my expectations.
You're on the right track. And remember, it's not just about the base salary.
Right, of course.
Consider that overall compensation package, which might include tips, health insurance, paid time off, and even those opportunities for professional development.
I've also heard it's a good idea to have a salary range in mind. Rather than a specific number.
That's an excellent strategy.
Okay, good.
And remember, it's perfectly acceptable to ask for some time to consider their offer before making a decision.
Speaking of considering things, I think it's important to express your interest in those growth opportunities during the interview.
Absolutely.
It shows you're ambitious.
It does.
And looking for a long-term career, not just a temporary job.
The Career Guide highlights the various career paths available within the coffee industry.
Yeah.
From barista trainer to cafe manager to roaster.
Wow.
So showcasing your desire to learn and grow is a great way to demonstrate your commitment to the field.
I could mention my interest in learning more advanced brewing techniques, pursuing certifications, or even eventually taking on a leadership role.
Those are all fantastic examples.
Okay.
It shows you're thinking long-term and that you're passionate about developing your skills and knowledge within the coffee industry.
I'm starting to realize that interviewing is not just about answering questions correctly. It's about telling your story, showcasing your personality, and leaving a lasting impression.
You're absolutely right. And remember, confidence is key.
Yeah.
And with the right preparation and resources like RoleCatcher at your disposal, you'll be well equipped to ace that next barista interview.
And even if you don't land that first job you interview for, don't give up.
Exactly.
Every interview is a learning experience.
It is.
Keep practicing, keep learning, and keep refining your skills and your story.
The more you practice, the more confident you'll become.
Yeah.
And remember, the coffee industry is constantly evolving. So there are always new opportunities brewing.
Well, I think we've covered everything we need to brew up a winning barista interview strategy.
We have.
From showcasing your passion and knowledge to asking thoughtful questions to navigating those salary expectations. We've equipped our listeners with the tools they need to succeed.
It's been a fantastic deep dive.
I agree.
And I'm confident that our listeners are now feeling much more prepared and confident to go out there and impress those interviewers.
They remember RoleCatcher is a fantastic resource to help you along the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Their AI-powered platform, their comprehensive guides, and their expert insights can make a world of difference in your interview preparation.
So go out there, showcase your skills, let your personality shine through, and land that dream barista job.
Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.
It was a pleasure.
We'll see you next time for another fascinating exploration of a new topic.
Until then, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep that passion for coffee brewing